Hi, everyone. So first off, I'd just like to thank you all for being here during such a stressful and unprecedented time. And I want to remind you all that however you're feeling right now is perfectly okay. If you're feeling sad or anxious, that's okay. If you're feeling guilty because you don't feel anxious or because you're not sure you're even feeling the right thing, remember that there is no right way to feel. Personally, I've been feeling extremely petty lately. I started a ridiculous argument with my boyfriend this week because he uses the word restroom and I say bathroom like a normal human being. Now, that's not a thing I'd care about under normal circumstances, but these aren't normal circumstances. Obviously, none of us has ever dealt with anything like this before. To start off, I'd like to thank everyone at Girls Right Now for inviting me to speak this evening. I'd also like to thank Joanne for being our host tonight and for being such a sharp and generous writer, and for being one of the kindest people I've ever met. What an inspiring group of young people. You all are the reason for this incredible organization, and I'm truly humbled to be here with you this evening as an agent of change honoree. I was so impressed by the poise and confidence of the mentees that I had the pleasure of meeting briefly during their pre-show, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the presentations this evening. I love the mission of Girls Right Now. The value in encouraging you all to tell your stories, to speak your truth, is that it's a way of reminding you all of your power. It's so easy to lose sight of the fact that each and every single one of you has a voice that matters. Please remember that. And please keep gravitating toward people and organizations who aren't afraid to tell you so. Plus, it's truly a gift to have someone in your life who you consider a mentor, because that kind of relationship is a fantastic tool for helping you develop a strong sense of who you are. Frankly, in that regard, you all are light years ahead of where I was in high school. I'm going to offer you some advice at the end of the speech, but it comes with a caveat. I mean that I'm going to tell you something that I wish I'd been told when I was in high school, but I want to be honest with you about the kind of high school student I was first. I got really bad grades in high school. To be clear, I'm an author and I'm currently writing for a television show. I'm a professional writer, but I got D's in English because I wouldn't read the books I was assigned. I grew up here in New York. I went to Bronx Science. My mom grew up here too, and so did my grandpa. Being a teenager here was intense for me. I felt like I grew up faster and was exposed to adult issues and concerns much earlier than the kids from smaller cities and towns that I ended up going to college with. Maybe some of you identify with what I'm saying because I think that's generally true for a lot of young women and non-gender conforming youth. I grew up fast, but I really struggled with trying to figure out who I was and with being confident about what I liked to do. I really liked writing stories, but I got a little too caught up in comparing myself and my talent to the talent of my friends. Comparison is the thief of joy. I think that if I wasn't as good as a friend at writing, then maybe I just shouldn't do it anymore. I piled all of these ideas onto myself about having to be the best writer in the world if I was going to be a writer at all. But it didn't occur to me to just listen to what my heart was saying, which was actually a very, very simple thing. You like to write, so do this thing because you like it. Anyway, back to the advice that I wish I'd been given when I was in high school. It's this: learn how to listen to yourself. And actually, to be totally honest, now that I'm thinking of it, I'm sure that smart adults probably did tell me that, but I wasn't in a place where I was willing to listen. Because only now do I really see the connection. Now that I'm 35, I think that I did so poorly in school because I was trying to figure out who I was and what I wanted on my own terms. And doing that, and doing what I was being told to do by my teachers, didn't seem like figuring anything out on my own terms. I was being unnecessarily self-destructive and silly when there was a much easier way to be. Luckily, I think you're all smarter than I was, so I doubt any of you are making the same mistakes. But I do think that the larger piece of advice still applies. Please practice listening to yourselves. It's important. You are in the process of learning who you are. That's a lifelong journey. I'm still figuring things out, although I've gotten better at knowing as I've gotten older. That means that what your gut has to say to you will change as you change. That's normal, and that's also why it's so important to keep checking in with yourself. So take a deep breath once in a while and listen. It has been a real pleasure to talk with you all. You fill me with gratitude and hope. I only feel confident about the future when I imagine young people like you in charge of it, changing our world for the better. Thank you. I look forward to talking with some of you one-on-one a little later on.